Welcome to Crash Course on a Budget!
Hi, my name is Maya Ishwar and welcome to Crash Course World History on a Budget. Today we're going to be talking about the Roman Empire, which lasted from 753 BCE to 600 CE, and it originally relied on agriculture for its main source of wealth and its economy. The Council of Elders played a major role in early Roman politics, and 7 kings ruled between the founding and the start of the Republic, including Brutus, Tarquinius Superbus, and Romulus, the founder of Rome. The Roman Republic, which lasted from 507 BCE to 31 CE, had an assembly of male citizens with votes based on wealth. The real power, however, was in the hands of the Senate, a ruling body with advisory powers. Because this democracy favored the rich over the poor, the commoners or plebeians revolted often because they wanted more say in the government. This was called the conflict of the orders. Roman women during this time had no public role and no property, but they were less restricted than their Greek counterparts. And now for the thought bubble with Emily.
The Roman economy was not as extensive as the economy of the world. The economy was based on slaves, and its main concern was feeding everybody. The difference between the Roman Empire and all the other countries of the world is that it used two-tier crop rotation, which required a lot of slaves. The Roman Empire helped the economy because they allowed farmers to donate crops to the government, and in return, the farmers did not pay taxes. This idea led to lazy farmers, and they didn't grow anything. The important crop that the Roman Empire had was grain. This allowed the Romans to expand and trade with places that they couldn't trade with before. Their 2 main ports were Egypt and Tunisia. Other places they traded with, and the products they traded to, was silk in China, cotton in India, animals in Africa, and gems in Germany. And all these helped the Roman economy. The Romans' largest industry was mining. Most shops around the towns were mining plants. The Romans used trade routes as economic wealth, and the routes went across land and sea. The land routes are still used today, however, back then they were not good because they were heavy loads and there were a lot of robbers. The Roman economy relied on imports that were very important, and if you were an importer, you became very rich in the Roman Empire's eyes. The Roman Empire left behind a legacy of coins, and the Roman Empire's coins are still wealthy to this day. When the Roman Empire began, no one religion was there. People believed in traditions and rituals passed down from their ancestors. The Romans believed religion was not just spiritual, but actual forces controlling their existence. The Roman Empire's goddesses and gods were created, and festivals are held for them every year, like Farina's festival on July the 25th. The Romans did not know the sex of their gods, but they did know that they had to pray and sacrifice to them. They believed strongly in omens, and their emperors based strong decisions off them. The traditions continued until 32 CE, when Christianity was introduced. When it was first introduced, it was discriminated against. In the year 64 CE, people began persecuting all Christians. This was due to Christianity people not bowing down to gods and goddesses. Hundreds of years later, under the rule of Diocletian, the greatest persecution occurs. He ordered all Christians be killed, and this killed thousands of people. It wasn't until 312 BC under Constantine that Christianity was accepted. Churches began being built and people listened. In 361 CE, Christian heresy became a problem and new ideas were put into the churches. 19 years later, Emperor Constantine made Christianity the state religion.
Thanks, Emily. Around 500 BCE, the Roman Republic acquired a huge empire and citizenry because of their love of war, widespread citizenship, and effective and large army. It became a major power in Western Europe and conquered many foreign lands. Because of frequent wars, the wealth became concentrated in the upper class, farms were destroyed, and many lived in poverty. The decline of the farmers also meant the decline of the military, and powerful military rulers used this to achieve a higher status of their own. They formed armies that were more loyal to themselves than to the state, called legions. Some rulers include Pompey, Sulla, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and Octavian. Caesar was the first dictator of Rome and was assassinated, starting a civil war. Octavian emerged as the winner of the power struggle that resulted after Caesar's death and proclaimed himself Princeps of Rome. Octavian, or otherwise called Augustus as his honorary name, became the military dictator of Rome under the title of Princeps. He founded the Roman Principate. The Principate replaced the corrupt and inefficient Senate. It included a civil service that declared that the leader of Rome should be chosen by the army, not the citizenry. The Roman Principate also changed Roman laws. It codified laws, and the emperor was a major source of laws. Romanization and Pax Romana emerged at this time as well. And now for the thought bubble with Jenna.
When it comes to describing the importance the Roman Empire gave to the Western civilization, it usually narrows down to the spreading of Christianity, pretty much. Paving the road towards this, of course. The weakening government from the Roman Empire soon led to the Christian Church rising up and seizing the power that the Roman state lost in the beginning. In addition to this, Rome was a melting pot, a mixture of different concepts, cultures, and traditions from around the Mediterranean, making it easier for countless ideas to spread from different places to places. This, of course, Christianity, spreading from different places to places. Also during this particular era, the ruler Constantine, who was responsible for making Christianity legal in the first place, also helped incredibly to the increase of encouraging towards this religion. Christianity in all as well also seemed to be more appealing of an outlook of a religion to worship, since it offered a more closer relationship towards a god that wasn't as distant as the polytheistic Roman gods that were worshipped at the current time. Rome's geographical position was a huge contribution in the success of the Roman Empire. For one thing, the two specific mountain ranges, the Alps and the Pennines, these two really helped in protection from invasions of rivaling empires, which included counterattacks and having the advantage of attacking first. Also, the fertile land of Rome itself was very beneficial in the growing of crops and goods, because the crops helped Rome to quickly create trading ties with other forces around in the Mediterranean areas, enhancing the power's economy. Rome in general was also located in a position that was very beneficial to its position. It was located in the central area of the Mediterranean Sea. The fact that Rome was located in the central area of the Mediterranean helped the Romans administer the goods made more faster and more efficiently. It also attracted merchants and traders from all parts of the ancient Mediterranean area. This diversity occurring at the beginning of the Roman state helped in expanding its influence around the area, encouraging most foreign powers to either cooperate peacefully or hesitate in opposing. When comparing the Han's Empire to the Roman Empire, it was clear to see that the two had a large amount of similarities together. They both showed comparison and ongoing conflicts with nomadic tribes, were centralized and had a bureaucratic type of government. They built network systems of roads and faced the similar problem of defending their long borders located far from the administrative center. Also, agriculture was the fundamental source of wealth, since the government's revenue was derived from the annual harvest every year. From this, the need for land was aroused in order to support both the empire's growing populations, meaning both empires spread out to encompass a wide spread of diverse areas, creating a sort of cultural unity when they brought the regions together. Developed from this came a kind of civil service system, of course mainly staffed by prosperous men, and educated middle-class men. In the way the two declined, surprisingly, not really surprising, I was just kidding, morals and values, as well as values that upheld the society itself in general, were abandoned and forgotten, sadly. From this came public health and urban decay, excess military spending, unemployment, inflation, and of course, political corruption, because that was what Rome was. Rome was political corruption, bribery, murder, all that junk.
Thanks, Jenna. During 235 to 284 CE, the empire was almost destroyed by political, economic, and social problems called the Third Century Crisis. However, fortunately, Emperor Diocletian was able to restore order by placing lots of government controls on the economy. The Roman Empire was also noted for its distinct culture at the time. The Roman culture was one of citizenship and Roman pride, including Pax Decorum and Pax Romana. These celebrated Roman achievements right in Rome and around the world. And the fact that the empire was the largest empire that the world had ever seen strengthened its identity. It also contributed to the spreading of Christianity and aesthetically and useful appealing technologies, such as the aqueduct and traditional Roman arch. And now for the thought bubble with Roopsha.
Rome was founded by Romulus in 753 BCE. 5 kings ruled Rome until 507 BCE, from when Rome became a republic governed by a senate. In 290 BCE, Romans defeated the Samnian tribes and gained land in Italy. Wars against Carthage in 264 to 202 BCE gave Romans land in the western Mediterranean, while wars against the Hellenistic kingdoms in 200 to 146 BCE gave Romans land in the eastern Mediterranean. Civil wars ravaged Rome from 88 to 31 BCE. During this time, there were 2 triumvirates in power. The first triumvirate consisted of Gaius Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. Caesar conquered the Celtic peoples of Gaul and became consul. After his assassination, the second triumvirate, formed by Octavian Caesar, Mark Antony, and Lepidus, ruled Rome. In 31 BCE, Octavian Caesar formed the Roman Principate. He assumed the name Augustus and the title Imperator. Jesus, a Jew from Galilee, founded Christianity in 32 CE. His disciple Paul spread the religion far and wide. Diocletian saved the Romans from the 3rd century crisis from 235 CE to 284 CE. In 324 CE, the Emperor Constantine moved the capital of Rome to Byzantium, renamed it Constantinople, and separated the Roman Empire into the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. In 476 CE, Romulus Augustulus of the Western Empire abdicated in favor of invading Germanic peoples. The Romans had a strong centralized government but never had any imperial dynasties. The army often chose emperors. There was a merit-based civil service staffed by landowning equites. Citizenship was granted to all free adult males living in Rome in order for conquered people to fight with the Roman army. Even emperors came from outside of Rome eventually. The bicameral structure of a senate and assembly under a consul was later adopted by various nations, including the United States. The Roman Empire was also intellectually significant in multiple ways. Corpus Juris Civilis, which consisted of Senate decrees, assembly bills, practices of officials, and dictates of emperors, served as a basis for European law. Roman artists made frescoes, pebble mosaics, glassworks, metalworks, and pottery. Modern Portuguese, Spanish, French, Italian, and Romanian stemmed from Latin. The Romans were also renowned for their technological genius. They invented concrete and pioneered arches. They also built catacombs, roads, fortification walls, and aqueducts, which relied only on gravity to transport water. Engineers built bridges, siege works, and ballistic weapons, which hurled stones and shafts.
Are you coming to the tree?